Okay, very well. Thank you very much for joining in. Today is October 26, 2016, and this is the FibStalker F Street weekly show. In this show, I'm going to review, this show is in three parts. I'm going to review past analysis we have done here on F Street. We'll also review the euro dollar and some pairs related to the euro, the dollar index, as well as the New Zealand dollar. And then I'll discuss some new trading ideas for next week. I'm Giuseppe Basile, also known as the FibStalker, and I will be your host in this show. Welcome everybody. As you know, risk is trader's job number one. I value risk a lot. I'm going to provide ideas here, but the information and the commentary of the trades are only provided for educational purposes, and this material should not be relied upon and should not be a substitute for extensive independent research which should be performed before making your investment decisions. I will not talk about myself. You can find information on FX Street, and I'll only say that I have over 20,000 hours of market exposure, work with mentors, and I am enrolling for the FibStalker Master's Coaching Program, which is my high performance program where I teach how to study market using the effects of algorithm on price. And if you're interested, I have a session starting in November. So, as I mentioned, it's in this webinar, it's in three parts. And by the way, if you like what you hear, you can always tweet the link on your Twitter account. As I mentioned, three parts. In the first part, I'm going to review Euro Canadian dollar, Euro Australian dollar, Euro Japanese yen, Euro pound, and Euro Swiss franc. These were five pairs that we commented in the past. And in the second part, I'm going to talk and make an analysis for these pairs, euro dollar, US dollar Japanese yen, US dollar Canadian dollar, US dollar Swiss franc, and also the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. In the third part, we're going to review some of the opportunities on some of these pairs, and the missing pair here is the US dollar Japanese yen. Okay, now I use classes of algorithm. Particularly, I study classes of algorithms which I call smart money, and how they're positioned in all time frames. And I contrast that with moving average value areas that I call dumb money. And I believe, it is my belief, that these areas are particularly followed by non-professionals, but they can be very, very strong, although the actual final direction of price is defined by how algorithms are actually positioned. I wanted to say hello everybody, thanks a lot for joining, that's me. And let's start with the first part then, okay? This is the first part of this webinar, and it's going to be a separate part. This part we're going to review the past analysis, and I have here a page from FX Street with the some of the past analysis I provided 2 weeks ago: Euro Canadian dollar, the Euro Australian dollar, the Euro Japanese yen, the Euro pound, and Euro Swiss franc. So for accountability, I'm going to review each and every of these ones. So I want to start from the euro versus the Canadian dollar here. I mentioned a potential move lower into the 138.80 area. And you can review that video, of course, on FX Street. But what I'm interested in too is reviewing the chart and see where that this market is at this very moment. The reason why I mentioned the 138.80 level or area here is because this is this is a target of a measure move that identified in the past weeks. This is the 48.50 extension. It is still in a process of pushing price lower, and that first target is the 138.80. So this market it's pretty neutral when it comes to weekly dump money, but it has an area of resistance that is in play at the moment, and that's represented by the 145, 146 area here. So as you can see, the dump money starts supporting this price, but if participation from algos comes at these levels, we could see a move lower. Now, the reason why I wouldn't trust at this point this continued move lower here is because of support that we have at the weekly as well. So I will scratch that at the moment, and I only provided a potential for a target, and the reason why it was only a potential is because of the support on the monthly time frames. All right, so next I want to touch on the Euro Australian dollar, which is one of the markets that actually has reached all the targets, 144.45, 42.90, and 41.30, just a few, and I think the low was, current low is 141.26, so it's very, very close to that level. So let's review this market, Euro Australian dollar, and if you remember, this market is, within sequences of measured move charts on a monthly, on the weekly, and then also on the daily. Look at the beauty of it. Just will remove this to avoid noise here, but the participation that we saw 150.30 broke price right into that 141.20, just to the pip there. Okay, so this market is very extended, and it has obviously the potential to continue lower, and the reason for that is because there are algorithms that are positioned in this market, and they're going to actually, they're interested in pushing this price lower into 138.80 as well. Now, what we don't know is whether that is going to happen right away, or we are going to get a retrace in this market. It's a pretty interesting market. If we get a retrace, we'll find a lot of resistance here, and one area that we want to look at is definitely the 143.30 for a continuation lower. So congrats to all of you who took this trade. Of course, I took this trade as well, and as all of my students who actually follow me. The Euro Japanese yen, I mentioned, traded this 117.88, and this is the only pair actually not moving lower, at least not moving lower yet. Now, that doesn't mean that that's not necessarily a problem, because the actual setup for this market came in the beginning of at the end of July here, and that was the 117.80. That's the level that they've indicated there, and that level has targets below. Now, so far this market has been hovering around previous lows here, and although this market has resistance from the bear money here, dump money short, this level is being worked out, and it's also a possibility for this market to come back to test at 118.80. Okay, so if you enter around those levels, you have to be aware that this market has the potential to to do that. However, this market could also, get some participation on the downside from algos as soon as it gets into this area where the weekly 13 EMA is at the moment. So really, not really a lot to do in this market, and I would actually scratch the idea. Next market I wanted to review is the euro versus the pound, and I mentioned that the retrace will be pretty deep. Now that retrace has not started yet, and I'm going to show you why. Because this market at the moment is on top of a daily resistance. As soon as that daily resistance will give way, we should see actually this market correcting pretty deep. As you can see here, this is the daily resistance, the 88.80 area here, which has acted as a support once. We will see whether that level is retested or not. This level is also on top of a bull dump money area here that is going to support this price. If we see this price below 88.20, I think we're going to get that deep correction that I mentioned before, and that could bring price down, let's say 200 pips here into 86.20. That's where we could see this price move into. All right, so this is something to keep in mind, and on the daily, there is participation on the downside that is opposing the participation that we saw so far on the upside. This is the participation on the downside, and as you can see, is a classic example of algos trading one against the other. We had the daily 4-hour pushing price lower, and the daily so far supporting price higher, along with the dump money. The bull dump money here in this area. If the bull is lost here, if this area is lost, if the bull do not keep participating, we're going to see a break and then potentially retreat into previous highs here, and next area of support from the weekly 086.30. Okay, so that's where we're going to see potentially this price. So the analysis that I did 2 weeks ago is still valid. And finally, the euro Swiss franc, which also met the target on its way to retest previous low at 108.34. So again, congrats if you actually took the trade. And here the point is we had this price revisiting previous low here, and I mentioned the 30 area here. The 40 area would be an area that would be retested. Interestingly enough, this market has the potential to move even lower, as I mentioned in the video 2 weeks ago, and that would be 107.17. And the reason for that is that's the next area of support. There's no other area of support besides previous highs. And interestingly enough, this market has traded already to 108.57, which is the next extension short. If this market retests this level, this is a strong resistance. Okay, so 108.57, it's an actual strong resistance for this market, and this is also trading idea for next week as well. Okay, and so this concludes the first part where we reviewed the past recommendation. As you can see, there were basically 2 winners, 2 trades still on, and the Euro Japanese yen, which is scratched. I also want to review the New Zealand dollar Japanese yen, which is along with the Australian dollar Japanese yen. It's a trade that has the potential to I mean, still working, of course. As you remember, we reviewed this 2 weeks ago as well. We mentioned this area of support from weekly, which was retested. And as you remember, I mentioned to take a position in the 73 area here, on top of this level after confirmation from FibStalking. And what happened is that this market came back to trace the next measured move 50% retrace, and which was also supported by dump money long here. So at this point, we have this market, we have the potential for this market, if it starts moving higher, to revisit the 75.80 level and potentially 76.80. So these are two targets for these market, which are updated targets. The second target and final target 76.80. It's not changed. I'm giving you an intermediate first target here. And when we see the Australian dollar Japanese yen, basically this was the same trade here. The reason why this market has moved more is because of the CPI yesterday, which actually obviously moved the market in the direction of the current setup. And remember that news always move the market in the direction of setups after the noise, of course, in the direction of the existing setups from algos. In this case, that was the 78.88. Okay, so this concludes the first part. Let's start now the second part. And again, if you like what you see, you can always link this video on your Twitter account. So to remind you that on FibStalkerTrading.com, you'll find my premium products here, and I have a FibStalker Master's Coaching Program, which is now its 5th edition, and starting it in November. If you're interested, you can go on the website and check out the content, and reach me out if you need any information. In this next section, I'm going to review the euro dollar, and the euro dollar has resistance at 109.80 to 90, and I see a target in this market 105.90 and below. So if the price gets to 109.80, there's going to be a great opportunity to trade this market. So let's review the euro dollar chart and see what this market is actually doing. As you remember from the analysis I've been doing the last 3 years on FX Street, this market has a resistance around 139.60, had a resistance which brought price into the first target, and then it started a lateral move that lasted basically 1.5 years here. It's pretty long. So this market really was not really interesting for trading. Now what's happening now, one of the developments that we saw last week is this break last week, which confirmed a potential for this price to revisit again lower prices here, 105.90, 105.50. The point is, this might not happen right away and on a straight line. And giving you here the key and the levels that I believe should be watched. If this market gets back into previous lows here, and these are out of participation from algos, as I mentioned before, 109.80 to 109.90, then we could get some participation. And remember, this is also a bear dump money area, so there'll be a lot of non-professionals and professionals alike actually trading and shorting this market. So when we have smart money and dump money trading together, we know we can have very good results. So if this market continues higher and meet this area, that's going to be a great shorting opportunity for the euro. If that does not happen, I would not risk anything here. There's no reason to risk anything. I always want to see the right and low risk, high probability setup taking place. Otherwise, I'm not in the trade. I'm not interested. Okay, so that's my suggestion there. This is basically the analysis for the euro dollar. Where we see the euro dollar, well, we see it into this first target eventually, 107. It's 107, 108, and then eventually 106.90 in its way into previous, on its way into previous lows. Okay. Okay, next is the US dollar, Japanese yen, and in this video I'm going to do the analysis for the US dollar, Japanese yen. This is the second target. This has a second target long at 105.60, and it has also a very solid support in case this market goes and retraces into the next measure move long here, which is watched by algos as well as dump miners. Very, very solid support in this market. This market hit the first target, as I'm going to show you on the chart here. On the daily, we had a setup last week, if you remember that. And, sorry, 2 weeks ago, of course. And that setup was an extension from highs to highs. The price got participation in that area. And eventually, it went into that first target. That happened actually on Monday, as you can see here. Sorry, on Tuesday, as you can see here. So this market has the potential to continue higher into that 105.50 area that I mentioned before. Okay, but just in case, if anything happens and news come in, any geopolitical developments come in, then you have to remember that this market has solid support below. Okay, and so the maximum I see this market retracing, if that happens, it was 103.40. Very, very solid. Now, the most probable outcome is that this market will just continue higher into 105.60, and in that case, we're going to capture the next. We're going to capture the next extension long and continue playing this price higher. This has been a wildly successful market for me at the beginning of the year, and we made a lot of calls also on the FX Street Tokyo Open Room on shorting this market, and we got 4 different points where to keep shorting this market. So it's been a great market to trade, and it will continue to be because this market has the potential to move as high as 112.40 now, and so it just started this move higher. I would anyway, this is an extension. I would anyway take profits around the second target here, and then wait for the next measure move to play here, and it's probably going to be something that will have will allow price to fall back into this 104, 105, 26 EMA here, and so then that's going to provide additional support along with the daily dump money to this market. It's a very interesting market, and this is also an opportunity. I'm going to recommend later on. So this concludes the analysis for US dollar, Japanese yen. Okay, next I want to talk about the US dollar, Canadian dollar, which has now targets long at 134.40 and 135.70, and this solid support does not apply to this. So only targets at 134.40 and 135.70. Just scratch the support here. It's not applied to US dollar, Canadian dollar. So let's review this. Let's review this market here, the US dollar, Canadian dollar. Let's switch to the charts, and this market, as you know, has been supported. I've been very wary about shorts although we had an extension shorts, which actually was participated a number of times, and the actual level is the low here, and was participated a number of times, but eventually it's giving way here. And the reason for that is there is strong monthly dumb money participation on this market. It's really important to understand how the different type of players that we model with the models on price of algorithms, as well as dumb money, which is represented by moving averages here. Because whenever there is that presence, market has a very difficult time moving lower, even if there is smart money that is trying to push the market lower. So there was smart money initially that was trying to contain price of Canadian dollar versus US dollar. With the latest developments in the US dollar, obviously, they gave way, and the dump money, it's actually pushing this price higher. So where this market can go, this market has clear targets on the daily. They can be seen on the daily here. There is a traditional measure move here, which actually supports the is supported by the weekly trace here at 128.55. There was participation last week, 130.36, and this obviously has targets above. And the interesting thing is that the first target of the daily setup coincides with the first target of the weekly setup. So here we have two different families of program trading and algos who are actually pushing this price higher. So make no mistake, we're going to see very soon the 134.37, even if the dollar index corrects. And this might take 1 week or more, but eventually we're going to see price at 134.40. The point is that this price has also the potential to continue, because there'll be no resistance until we get into 135.80. All right, so this is very important because there will be no participation short until we get there, at least until we get there. It's very important. If you are long, you should keep your longs and try to bring this price into that target there. And what can we see here is so this is what we can see here on the US dollar Canadian dollar, and this concludes the review for the US dollar Canadian dollar for today, October the 26th, 2016. Next, I'm going to review for you the US dollar Swiss franc, which has a lower support at 0.9870. So let's review the US dollar Swiss franc. And the reason why I'm talking of support here is that this market obviously is very strong, it's very similar. Chart is very similar to US dollar Canadian dollar. The only difference is that this market is already in another it's much further in the cycle. It has broken the 99.89, this level here. This is a very important development. And what happens now is that this market is at risk of a potential retrace. The retrace will not be deep. In fact, if the retrace takes place, I believe it's not going to go lower than this extension in 98.70, where we also have bull dump money, strong bull dump money supporting this price as well. So if there is a retrace in this market, I would not look for a deep retrace, but rather just a retrace which has the potential to bring price into the 98. There is also another level that we want to consider, which is a weekly level, and that's the higher level here. and that's maximum where we could see this market correcting. So between 98.70 here and 98.80, that's the area where this price is going to very probably continue higher with another leg. So we want to be ready to take an opportunity in this market. Okay, and this concludes the analysis for the US dollar Swiss franc for today, October the 16th, 2016. Thanks for watching. Okay, final market I want to review today is the New Zealand dollar Japanese yen, which has two targets above 75.80 and 76.80. This is a repeat of an idea that I had 2 weeks ago as well as last week, and I'm trading this like others, and actually the New Zealand dollar Japanese yen here. This market is the main idea for this trade is support from smart money, and obviously smart money two-way driving the game here. If you believe that moving averages drive the game, no, they only act as resistance in this market. So what drives the game is the analysis of price structure that we perform on all time frame. In this specific case, on the weekly, it's pretty simple. There's a 50% retrace. It's not that simple. It's not always that simple, that straightforward. That's why you need to know how to perform the full price structure analysis on all time frames, how to perform price discovery, how to apply the trading system to get a clean and valid setup, which is also a high probability setup. In this specific case, the dump bear money here is not responding to this price any longer. What is pushing this price higher is smart money here, represented by this 50% retrace, and the smart money has also been supporting this price on the daily time frame, and this price has the potential to move all the way, as we mentioned in the past, into 76.80, 76.70. And on the daily time frame, we saw early this week a participation at 50% retrace, which is this area here. The market hovered around this area and then kept pushing, guys. So as soon as this market is going to break this 74.90, we could see a continue to move higher here. So there are two targets then in this market, and it's interestingly enough, these targets correspond with the activity of dump money as well. Dump money short is not going to put any, it's not going to get against this market in this area from current price to 76.70, sorry, to 76.80. And so only smart money is drawing this price, and this price is driven higher by the weekly participation as well as the daily participation. First target is the one I mentioned before, 75.80. Second target is 76.70. Okay, so it's a good opportunity for next week if you want to follow up. I'm already in this trade since 2 weeks ago, and that's where we want to see this price going to. Okay, so this is it for the New Zealand Japanese yen for today, October the 10th, 2016. And as usual, we're going to review these trades next week or in 2 weeks' time and show you how you can actually profit from this analysis. Next, again, I want to remind you to check out the FibStalkerTrading.com website. I have a few other premium products there, and I'm developing a Winning with Algos community as well, which probably I'm going to announce in the coming weeks, also here on FS Trade. There's also a lot of free material and information you can download and study with a lot of free videos as well. So If you want to contact me, FibStalkerTrading.com. I also have a legacy blog. I'm going to get rid of that. So, but you find a lot of information there. So I'll put that information on the new blog, FibStalkerTrading. FibStalker@gmail.com, and on Twitter, FibStalker. If you like what you see, please tweet it on your Twitter account. Now, in this part, I'm going to review the trade ideas and setups for next week, and the date is 26 of 2016 here. My apologies. And I'm going to review a few trades here. I might add something else. For the longs, I'm going to review US dollar, Japanese yen, and we reviewed already US dollar, Swiss franc. Actually, we also talked about the US dollar, Japanese yen. Actually, we talked about all of this. I just want to focus a little bit here and on the opportunity, the coming opportunity. So in this video, we'll start from the US dollar, Japanese yen. So US dollar, Japanese yen, it's as I mentioned before, it's moving higher. It hit first target. This participation you see after it hit first target is given by the resistance of 26 EMA, as well as, most importantly, from the first target of the measure move here. Okay, so that's algos taking profits. It's not necessarily dump money and resistance, only resistance on that 26 EMA weekly. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, algos, they have a second target. It's above 105.58. If we get there, we're gonna trade extensions. If we do not get there, we have another level that you have to watch, and I'm going to hawkishly watch because that's going to become our next setup here. I don't believe this market is going to make it back into the 103.34. However, what I believe is not really important. The market can do anything. So either it continues higher and gives us a second target, or it moves lower and gives us a next opportunity long. That's it. There's no more than that. Of course, this market might come lower and not touch this level, and so we will not have any setup then. And that means that the market will just take profit here and then continue higher. Okay, so as you can see, some people ask me what the market will do. I don't know what the market is going to do. What I know my firm levels, and if the market gets there, I know what to do. So if you ask me, what's your idea? What the dollar index is going to do? What the US dollar, Japanese yen is going to do? My answer is always I don't know. What I know are these levels that you see on the market, on the chart. Okay, if we get to second target, this is a level I know. If we get a retracement, this is the level I know. And these are the only levels where I will get involved. That has to be very, very clear to you as well. The next market I want to review is the euro versus the euro dollar here. The euro dollar, we reviewed already this move lower. You can kiss goodbye. Bulls will not show up. Smart money will not show up in this market. So anything that you see moving higher is going to be profit taking, which is good. Profit taking is good because it can bring price into the next setup shorts. And the next setup shorts here is going to be an area of between 109.80 to 109.90. If that happens, I'll be the first one shorting these markets. This market particularly try to bring it down into 107 and potentially all the way into 106.95. I might exit partially if that happens and wait for continuation lower. That's an opportunity for next week. The euro pound, we also reviewed that. This is an opportunity for next week. As you remember from the previous analysis that we did, there are daily shorts pushing this price lower, pushing this price on a smart money long area, which participated here to the pip. Remember that I traced this area before the fact. not after the fact. Okay, and there's also a dump long area, and let me show you how this was traced before the fact, and not after the fact. And just remove this, and as the market moved higher, we had an extension, and based on the rules of my system, the extension is traced from this level in this specific case, and once that's traced, it stays there on the chart. If there are no higher highs, that level never changes, and that's the level that was tested successfully here today on Wednesday, and that was known 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days before. So it was tested before. It was tested 10 days, 9 days after. But just to show that these levels are known in advance. Now, when they're tested, I never blindly buy or sell them. I always have another technique that I use to see whether the algos that are pushing this price lower are stronger or weaker than the algos that are pushing this price higher. Okay. Now, the case I'm building for this market here is a retrace into 86.30. That cannot happen if dump money and smart money don't give way. And for that to happen, I need to see price below 88.23. It also means that if you're fast enough, that's not my style, but if you're quick enough, you can take a trade from below 88.23 to 86.55. Okay, so it's a sizable trade. It's 170 pips here, and I suspect if this happens, this is going to be very, very quick. Okay, just going to be profit taking and a very brisk move into this level. So that's another opportunity for you. And the last, I wanted to touch on the euros, Swiss franc here, and again, this market has a potential for a continuation lower into the next level of support. There's nothing before that. 107.17, there is nothing before. And if that happens, what we're going to see is basically we're going to see some sort of support there, but not before, which means that this makes for a great continuation trade short here. The shorts have already traded, so it's possible that this market will just continue lower. Because see, smart money has taken already a position at 108.57. That's my view, and this will be, should be, and will be enough to push price lower here. Okay, and that. And the only thing that we have to notice, and the reason why there was this reaction here, is because the dailies are actually being pushed higher because of the presence of this 50% level and previous lows here. Okay. However, the this market is being pushed lower on the larger time frame by a monthly dump money area here. So I don't really however everything is possible, it seems less probable to me for this market to continue higher at this point. So a retest of 108.57, if successful, timed with the FibStalker timing technique, which is my proprietary technique for timing using algos on a smaller time frame, this should be an opportunity to short this market. All right, and this concludes the review for today. This concludes the trade ideas and setups for Wednesday, October the 26th, not 19, 26th of October 2016, and wish you all the best and best of luck. Of course, as I mentioned before, these ideas are provided for educational purposes only, all these materials, and it is always recommended that you do your own analysis and take your own decisions when it comes to trading. Thank you very much and have a great evening. I'm going to see you next Wednesday, as usual. And next Wednesday is going to be November the. We're going to meet next November the 2nd here, and we're going to review some of these markets as well as other opportunities. Thank you very much.